Yes, 23 years of age, Yashavi Jaiswal is at the start of his international career, really. Just 21 test matches so far, but already the numbers are stacking up. He averages over 50, which I suppose is the mark of a great player these days. He's got 500s. Very good away from home, with hundreds in West Indies, Australia and England so far, and he loves playing against England. He averages 82, 300s, two of them double hundreds in that fabulous series in 2024 over in India. How good is he, Kumar, and how good can he be?
Well, then let's take the two questions separately. How good is he? The easiest way to do it is look at these numbers. And they're incredible. Any young cricketer with this as their foundation, you know that he's incredibly good, not just technically, but temperament-wise. And he has an appetite that separates him from other young cricketers of the same age. He's got a debut 100. He's the third youngest, I think, after Vinod Kambli and Sir Don Bradman to have two double hundreds to his name. He's hungry to score runs away, bats in all conditions. So he's extremely, extremely good at the moment. Already. But how good he can be, I think you have to add a layer of, you have to understand his journey. His past, where he is now, but also you've got to understand the person to know whether mentally and the personality of the player really fits him to really kick on from here and do even better. And I've known Yashavi Jaiswal for over close to 5 years now. I saw him as a young kid at Rajasthan Royals. And then we got to know him. I think he's just going to get better. I think he's got the resilience to withstand a lot of the challenges that come his way at international cricket. Take the rise and then the bumps and the falls along the way in his stride. And he's extremely driven and motivated, so he's going to be even better.
We'll get to his backstory because it's a fascinating one in a little bit. But if I show you the rankings, he's already the fourth best ranked player in the world in Test cricket. And there's some big names around, obviously Root and Brook, 1 and 2, Kane Williamson. There's a slight changing of the guard here, isn't there? If you think of the old Fab Four, which would be Root, Williamson, Smith, Kohli, not there. But there's some good young players here. Brook, Jaiswal, your countryman, Kamindu Mendis. How do you see the next kind of generational Fab Four being? He's going to be amongst them, surely.
But he will definitely be amongst them. And kind of the odd one out in a way is Rishabh, being a wicket-keeper and the way he bats and the game he has. So you think, well, what's he doing there? But you see again how good he is. I think Jaiswal is slightly different to the rest in terms of the younger pack here. I think Root, Brook is pretty young as well, but Root, Williamson and Smith, they have a lot of games under their belt, and they took a while to really rise to this stage as well. But Jaiswal, from the start, has been meteoric in the terms of how he's risen, but also the achievements. He's got an appetite for big hundreds. And I think the changing of the guard is a natural evolution of the game. I'm not really sure whether the careers of Jaiswal and the rest will last as long as that of a Root or a Williamson or a Smith. But I think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for us to see how they step up and play a long careers.
I mean, the game is changing quickly. If we show you, clearly as a young player, he's got a lot of T20 experience. He's played 67 games for your franchise and lots of T20 internationals as well. Interestingly, only one ODI, and that's probably explained because there's still the likes of Rohit and Virat Kohli who are in India's team, but there's nothing to stop him having an outstanding ODI career as well.
No, but I think, when you see the amount of talent that's in India and the push and the competition for places, you understand why that he has to wait his turn, immaterial of how good he is. And also their kind of stand on rewarding first-class cricket and hard work from a whole host of cricketers. But he'll get his turn and he's going to be as good.
Virat Kohli at the end of the IPL said it's Test cricket where you're measured, where you make your reputation and where you are judged. Does the young cricketer, the 23-year-old like Yashavi Jaiswal, think in the same way? Do they still have that passion for Test cricket as somebody like Virat Kohli?
Absolutely. Every young cricketer that I come across has that same passion. The only thing is they do understand what's on offer and how to navigate that cricketing landscape and the changing of it. So I think careers will come down, the span of careers will come down, and we're seeing it already. And I don't think it's going to be any different for Jaiswal, especially when he has to manage his body and his workload. But we had Joe Root at Rajasthan Royals. And we used to call Jaiswal Joswal because he never left Joe's side.
Yeah.
And
soaking up
everything. And they weren't talking just T20, they were talking about everything, cricket and life. And he would sit right next to Joe for about 4 hours every night and just pester him with questions or just open mouth listening to Ruti. And Ruti was absolutely brilliant in our environment. And he's learned so much. And that's another aspect of Jaiswal. He's a fast learner and he wants to learn.
It's a fascinating backstory. We've got a picture of him as a 12-year-old when he went from Uttar Pradesh down to Mumbai in search of an opportunity, living in a tent on the side of the Azad Maidan. I mean, he is the classic rags to riches story, isn't he?
He is, and it's been meteoric and fast. I mean, he was first given accommodation before the tents in a dairy in exchange for work, gets evicted because his cricket gets in the way of work. And Jwala Singh sees him, gets him into his cricket academy at Santa Cruz. And you know, the thing is this, when you look at his numbers now, you see why his numbers are so strong. Because 2015, in a Giles Shields Trophy, he scores 300. 2019, in Vijay Hazare, he has 300s, including a double. Under 19, player of the tournament in the Under 19 World Cup. First season of Ranji, scores 3 consecutive hundreds. Youngest player to score 100 for Rajasthan and the fastest 50 in the IPL against KKR. So the guy is used to doing amazing things from a young age. And that's mainly because of that journey, that influence, that drive, that hunger to do well. And the competition, he knows that when he looks behind him, there are thousands of kids like him waiting. And Jaiswal's story is unique to Jaiswal, but it is not unique in the context of India.
Absolutely.
So he has to keep driving, and he's driven. He's a very, very genuine and decent young man.
We'll talk about his super strength, which I suppose he's a very offside dominant player, isn't he? I think all his boundaries in that 100 at Headingley came through the offside. He made 87 yesterday, and we've put together a few cuts and drives. But if you said, where's his real strength, it's that square the wicket on the offside and through the covers, isn't it? Because it's so sideways on.
I mean, he's very old-fashioned in that sense. He's very side-on. He's very simple in his technique. He bats covering his stumps, and he has a beautiful out swing on the offside on that front foot. He knows when to check drive. He knows when to square drive. He's very good square off the wicket. He seems leg side dominant now, but when he goes into other formats, he knows how to step inside the line on a short ball. I've seen him take down Josh Hazlewood in 2020, 2021. So he's got the whole game, all the shots. And when you looked at KL Rahul batting in this test and Jaiswal on the other end, the one thing that you can put down to maybe his inexperience, or maybe his life story, and maybe his attitude is that everything is decisive. You know, you were talking to me about he hits it too hard at times, it comes out. But he is decisive. He doesn't leave anything in the shed. When he's committed, he's committed. So that allows him to get into good positions. One other thing, Athers, that we all miss sometimes, he's an opener, but his ability against off-spin for a lefty or any type of spin is also incredible. So he's got all the tools you need.
One of the areas we've looked at is because he's so sideways on, he can get tucked up a little bit. His numbers from round the wicket are very strong. From over the wicket or into the rib cage, less so. I mean, this is an area that teams will have a crack at him.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Head is a little bit similar in that sense as well. And all lefties have a blind spot just outside leg stump. You just need a bowler who's strong enough and disciplined enough to try and exploit that continuously. I think round the wicket, most bowlers go to him without realizing that's also one of his strengths, and you're playing to his strength, is to stop him scoring runs and to see if he can be goaded into making a mistake. But if you stay over the wicket and you go across him, and also because he's side on, you can even go as full with the new ball as possible to try and York him.
Mitchell Stark did a little bit in the border Gavaskar.
In Australia, so that when he plays across, he misses it, you might have a chance of an LBW. But as a typical left-hander, over the wicket, blind spot just outside leg stump, more often than not, I used to speak to Brian Lara as well, we nick off, we have LBW. So that's probably a better line of attack for Jaiswal than round the wicket.
Strengths can be your weaknesses. Yesterday, he played and missed a little bit outside off stump. He sometimes comes off the cut shot, doesn't he? And because he, as you say, is so decisive and wants to hit the ball so hard, he can come off the drive a little bit as well and lose his shape.
He can. I think with the new ball, with uneven bounce, he does struggle a bit. When the ball got a little bit older and the pitch kind of eased off a bit, he got better contact on it. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's my theory with this. Just keep batting, keep being decisive, and keep that simple technique.